It's
kind of handy from a maintenance point of view because otherwise you end up doing a lot of servicing.
Yeah, yep. Alright, cool.
This thing will need a fuel drain actually, just remember, and it has been refueled.
Because there's what, rubbish down the bottom of the tank?
Well, there's not, but it's a mandatory item that has to be done after every single time it's been, aircraft has been refilled.
Yep.
Is you actually have to do a fuel drain. Now that is to test for exactly what you said, rubbish down the bottom of the tank.
Yep.
In this case, the thing that we're really looking for is the presence of water within the fuel.
Yep.
Which is a bit of an issue. Of course.
How do I look?
Looks good, mate. So what we need is a jar. Now the jar lives under, generally, in most of these aircraft, it will live under my seat.
Yep.
So, there it is. But it's just a jam jar.
Yep.
Have you been trained to do this yet?
No.
Perfect. Well, let's do it right now. So there's 3 drains on the helicopter. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in.
Yep.
And we're standing on the left-hand side, so we might as well do this one first. So I'll just pop that belt back in.
Yep.
First one's just here. This is called the gascolator. Yeah. It's a fuel filter basically. It's the American term for a fuel filter, a gascolator.
Yep.
And all you do is just put the jar under that little drain hose and then push up.
Yep.
That's all you need.
And you'll see the droplets of water?
Absolutely. You'll see a very visible delineation between the fuel and the water if there was water present in there.
The water's heavier?
Much heavier.
Yep.
It's actually 30% heavier. This is 0.72 kilograms per litre.
Yep.
So it's 30% heavier if the water was in there. Which means that even if you have water and then you shook it up, you could not get it to mix. It would immediately separate it.
Yep.
In fact, if there's a water bubble in the seat, I'll show you once we've done our fuel.
Yeah, no worries.
Just good to see.
Yep. SG 0.73.
Perfect. You can open that cow there as well.
So vertical
Yep.
up. Yep.
That's it. Now this one, because the wind's coming, well, it's actually swinging around. Yeah, it's swinging around. So I'll just pop that one down so it doesn't blow down for the time being.
Yep.
We have 2 more fuel drains. These are both draining the fuel sumps. And as you can see, if you pop your head down, you can work out which one belongs to which. So this line here is coming directly from this tank, which is the auxiliary tank. The right-hand side of the aircraft is the aux tank. It's much smaller in volume.
Yep.
This one actually is a remote line.
Yep.
It's still braided there. You can see it runs along the front of the transmission,
Yep.
along the edge of the firewall there to the main fuel tank. So we just do both of them basically.
Yep.
Now you've got to do them both by pushing up on the valve, but you actually unclip the safety thing first. This is just a secondary seal in case that one up here ever failed.
Yep.
So you unclip it and then hold the valve up like so. Another small little volume there.
Yep.
And the same thing. You must do the last one for a little bit of practice.
Sure. Pushing in, not up, obviously.
Yeah, in on that one, exactly. Yep.
That'd be enough.
Perfect. Now the only other thing you've got to do before you crimp that back off is ensure the line is empty.
Yep.
And it is. You've already sorted it basically.
Yeah.
But it's just something you want to check. You wouldn't want fuel left in that line.
Yep.
This here is not a primary seal. It's only secondary. So you wouldn't want, even if a small portion of fuel sitting above your engine with only that little.
That's volatile stuff anyway.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, so nothing
Cool.
there, yep.
So you can see that there's no delineation there between colours. There's nothing that looks different down the bottom. There's also nothing floating in the fuel. A little swell will stir up anything that potentially could be sitting there that's slightly heavier than the fuel.
Yep.
Contaminants, dirt, rust, whatever. In this case, it looks as clean as you can possibly get.
Yep.
If you hold that for a second, I'll see if I can find some water to tip into it for the purpose of showing you what it looks like. Sorry, it's normally one of these, but there isn't in the system.
That's right. So that door's closed first.
Correct, that's exactly right.
Yep.
Lid for that one.
Yep.
The sample gets poured into one of those things. These are, you'll find these little evaporator drains dotted all over the airport.
Yep.
You're not allowed to tip your fuel samples on the grass. 1, it's fuel grass.
Yep.
2, it's then evaporating away and fires, blah blah blah.
Yep.
So these are the evaporator points. The fuel is not stored here, it simply evaporates away still. It's just somewhere to pour it to evaporate away. Their fuel is full of sand.
No worries. So you got a bonfire go there.
Yeah, exactly right. Although avgas, that would be gone in about a minute's time. It evaporates so quickly.
Yeah, I can feel it on my hands.
Warm day like today,
Yep.
Remind me later, I will put some avgas in the jar and just show you. It's quite interesting to see.
Yeah,
Because that way you know exactly what you're looking for. And it is a very clear line between the two.
Never going to say no to a bit of chemistry. So,
Yeah, exactly.
So. So you want that obviously completely dry before you jump
Oh
in?
no, it's not. You won't get it that dry anyway. Just as long as it's.
Yep.
That'll be fine, mate.
Yep.
Lid on it. Underneath the seat there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Last but not least is a walk around inspection. Before every single time we go flying, we need to do a walk around inspection. Even if the helicopter has been flown 100 times that day already, we need to ensure that there's nothing. Yes, our last line of defence basically.
Where did that clipboard go?
It's just on the floor there, on your side.
Right, yeah.
It's still there, all good.
I thought I checked the seat.
It's all good.
Should I grab that? It's got the
We don't need it yet. No, that's okay. The walk around inspection is just something. It's a visual thing. We're not really, opening cows and checking oil levels and all that sort of stuff. It's just simply to check that things like the doors are on how they should be. The blades are untied. We haven't left the wheels, the manoeuvring wheels on the helicopter. Just basic things. All the cows are done up. The fuel caps have been put back on and reinstalled correctly. Those two black lines are aligned there. Unfortunately, our beloved fuel truck drivers don't always put the fuel caps on correctly. I couldn't count the amount of times I've seen them like that, or still sitting there like that.
Evaporating away.
Evaporating away, exactly right. Filling the tank with contaminants. So, that's what we're looking for. It's our last line of defence. So in this instance, the door's closed. You're obviously going to open it to get in shortly. Cows are all done. Fuel cap is on. It's all correct. No leaks, nothing, no oil leaks down here, everything looks as it's good. Just a brief inspection, up the tail of course. We can take this opportunity to turn the blades off of the tail, which is, I recommend never starting a helicopter with the blades on the nose, because that indicates the blade is on the tail, and that is how you tie the blades down. You tie them to the tail.
So you can see that it's off.
If you can see that the blades are cocked off of the nose, generally they're considered
11 and 5.
Exactly, then there is no chance of them being tied to the tail, therefore you'll never be a helicopter pilot who inadvertently starts with the blades tied down. Which, not that I've ever done it, but believe me, it happens.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool, again on this side, again, fuel cap on this side, installed lines, lined up, it's all correct. And last but not least is we got the oil cap. Now the oil has already been checked, it's not really worth checking again. What I would recommend is just ensuring that it's not loose and hanging off. So do you know where the oil cap is?
See if I can guess.
I'm gonna go. I wouldn't have a clue.
That's all right.
Oh, yellow. Yep, there you go.
Yellow one right there.
It's in the way.
So this one right here. So basically, this oil cap is it's not only is it the cap, it's also got a dipstick on it as well. It's threaded, so once it gets put in, it's threaded in. It's got a rubber gasket on it. Now I recommend once you feel the rubber gasket touch as you're screwing it in, just give it a tiny little extra little tweak up. Don't screw it down as tight as you possibly can, because good luck getting it off next time. That's all. So it doesn't need to be super tight, it just needs to be on and tweaked a tiny bit, so that there's no chance of it rattling loose while we're flying. That's all. Alright, cool, happy with that? Okay, climb on in, pop the seatbelt on, and let's get going.
With me, we'll stuff around a little bit.
It's alright?
I might leave the door open a little bit.
Yeah, you can do it if you like, that's not a problem at all.
So where is that going? In flat.
Cool. So the only other thing we still need to write these numbers down, so we haven't written them down yet. Sorry, did I grab that pen back off you? I must have. Here you go.
So where is that going when we start moving?
I would put it in the pocket on your one.
Gotcha, this one there,
Yeah, exactly.
So...
Engine start first, so you grab that off the engine meter, which is going to be this number right here. And only go to the first decimal place, so you use the last one to round up or round down. If it's 0.5, you round up.
579.5.
That's correct. And then the collective meter as well.
So why are they offset like that?
It's just because this is your collective start. So then this would be, sorry, incorrect. That's your engine start. That's your engine stop. That's your log time.
So it gives you gaps.
Exactly.
Cool. So collective is 462.7. Only goes to one decimal place.
Yes, correct.
Cool. So we leave.
We don't know any of those values yet until we get back. The only other thing we can get is the fuel. So turn the master battery switch on. There's that red one on the dash there. That's the clutch. Right next to that. Keep going across.
Master
that one there.
battery,
Flick him on. And both of our fuel gauges will start immediately moving up. Now, the gauges have got calibration charts. That's exactly what these two items here are. The auxiliary tank, as you can see, it's just over half a tank there at the moment. And half a tank is 22 litres. 3/4 of a tank is 30 litres. Let's call it, I don't know, 23?
23,
Perfect. Add whatever we got here as well. So same thing, you got to sort of interpolate between the two.
Say 45, maybe 42.
I'd say probably 45 is a pretty good guess.
5, 68, we'll go with that.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Where am I putting that actually? Fuel
Brought forward.
brought forward, okay,
Yep.
yeah. It's just
Because that's how much fuel is in the tank when we arrived at the helicopter.
68 litres.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuel added is going to be 0.
Yep.
And takeoff fuel, or total fuel, 68.
Yep. Awesome.
That's that. If you arrived at the helicopter only had 40 litres in it, and you said, oh, I need to put another 20 in, then obviously it'd be 40, 20, 60, you know,
Yep.
and so on.
Yep.
Easy. Okay, so we are ready to start going through the startup process now.
Yep.
But I would, before we start that, we'll turn the power back off again. Yep. Because there's quite a few things we need to do before the power goes on.
Yep.
So you can fold that over now, no longer required. Pop the pen, clip the pen in it, however you want to do it.
Yep.
And then into the seat pocket, and then grab your startup checklist out, and there should be one there in your seat pocket also.
Nice. Yeah, can I do this first?
Sure, mate.
This is going to get real loud real quick. Alright, ready to go.
Perfect. So from the top.
So before starting,
Correct.
seat belts, they've fastened.
Cool.
Yep, take it off. Shall I take it out now?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, there's fast
The
seatbelt.
fuel shut-off valve, this one, on.
No, the fuel shelf down's behind me. We'll just get the seatbelts done first.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. Alright.
Cool. Fuel shut-off valve is actually, this is the mixture.
Yep.
The shut-off valve is behind me, over my left shoulder there. Can you see it?
I see it. It's
Perfect.
on.
Perfect.
Yep. Alright, so Cyclic friction. That one.
Correct.
And this thing.
Correct. Yep. So you can undo both of those.
They need to be off. Yep.
Yep.
So back it off.
Yep, just unwind it anti-clockwise basically.
Yep.
And then stop. And this one is actually off at the moment.
Yep.
And the reason it's off is because we raised it just before.
Yeah, have a look. Yep. So Cyclic full travel free.
Go for it.
Yeah. Watch the blades tilt.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My favourite part of a helicopter is the mechanical part. So yeah, all good. Handles are
Cool.
free.
Then collective. Yep. All the way
Yeah,
down.
we'll get oh, a bit of resistance going back down.
Yeah, there is a little bit. This they all have a level of friction on them.
Yep.
It's the friction that you can't get rid of, and it's actually favourable in flight
So it
because
doesn't
it
flop.
somewhat helps you hold the collective from just dropping under its own gravity.
Yep. So throttle full travel. So that's full.
Yep. And then fully closed, and then close it all the way into the detent spring. So that's keep closing it. Feel that spring there? It's a
Yep.
detent spring. We'll talk more about it in the future, but it essentially at this stage it's just indicating to you that the throttle is fully closed.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so collective full down friction on. Full friction? Or just a bit of friction?
Full friction. Yeah.
Full friction,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
until you can't move it anymore, basically.
Yeah, yep. And then Cyclic neutral friction. So that's it'll stay here.
Correct. So straight up and down.
Yep.
Just imagine a spirit level sitting next to it.
Yep.
And on this side as well, of course.
Yep.
Straight up and down, that would be in the neutral position, essentially.
So friction. So crank this right up, or just a bit?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's never a case where you have a little bit on.
No, it's either off or it's
Yeah.
on.
Yep. Cool. So pedals neutral.
That's it.
Yeah. Rotor brake disengage.
So what's that? That's exactly that, and it is disengaged. Engaged would look like
Hanging
that.
down. Yep.
Yep.
So to disengage, you just yank it.
Yep, that's it.
Circuit breakers in. Where are they?
These start right here. Yeah, between my legs. So the circuit breakers in, you generally just run your hand across the top of them. You'll feel if one has popped up.
Yep.
It would look like that if there was one up. You would see a small white collar there. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So in fact, have a crack at that. Reset that one that I've pulled.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Cool.
So carburetor is off. That's on.
Mm-hmm.
Off. How do I tell if it's off or on?
So it's pull to pull it on.
Can I test it? Or?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
So you need to unlatch it first. So that little silver thing you push out sideways.
There you go. Lock.
That's it.
On
All the way on.
and I'll get it higher. Yep.
Exactly,
And
so-
then off. And latch it back down.
Perfect.
Alright, mixture full rich. That's full rich is down.
Correct.
So
So pull to lean.
Yeah.
Push to mix to rigid.
Yep. Mixture guard, clusters installed.
Exactly.
Landing lights off, wherever they be. Yeah. Avionics switch
cool. Now this is trying to account for the R22s that are fitted with an avionics master. This
Yep.
one, and both of ours in particular, do not have an avionics master switch. If it
Yep.
did, it would actually be up here on the dash.
Yep.
But what we do have is obviously avionics, and that is your prompt to just say, okay, well let's just check the radios are turned on.
Yep.
So that would be on, that'd be off, and same again here.
Yep.
That would be off. So that's just your indication. Oh, yep, both radios are off. Easy.
Yep. No worries. Clutch disengaged, so that is disengaged.
Correct. And don't forget, you also want to just make sure the switch is disengaged, because the red thing you're looking at there is just the cover. You know, it could be like that and be still engaged. It would need to be like that to be disengaged.
So our QNH is 1013. Do I need that to set the altitude?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know the altitude, so that's not
Yeah. Correct.
we set that to 0 for Jandicott.
No, you set it to 1013. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that actually seems quite high at the moment. I wonder if the QNH has changed recently.
My watch thinks that it is a bit lower than that.
Okay, I would definitely agree with your watch actually, to be perfectly honest. What does your watch say that it is at the moment?
1009.
Okay.
But you know, it's just the watch.
I would actually say that your watch is very accurate there.
Yeah.
And the reason being is this is showing our height not above the ground but above the sea level.
Yeah.
And a Jandicott is 99 feet, I call it 100, above sea level.
Yep.
So that's why I'm thinking that the pressure isn't correct there at 1013.
Yeah.
And then it actually does need to be closer to 1009.
Yeah. As soon as we're not doing a low level flying, it's not super critical, right?
No, well, we still need to maintain our height in class Delta airspace, plus or minus 100 feet. That's the legal requirement.
Right,
and we're already 100 feet out before we even try if we don't have a correct QNH. The problem with it is, if the tower says that QNH is 1013, we set 1013, not what your watch says, because that's what everybody in the area is running off.
Yeah, so do we want to go back to 1013?
We'll go back to 1013 for the time being, but we're going to have another listen to the ADAS once we start the aircraft, and hopefully that reflects that change.
Yep, no worries. So, altimeter set, governor switch on the end of collective.
Yep, that's it.
Where's on the light?
It's the placard here in case you forget.
Oh, there you go.
So on is towards you. Just have a play with it. Turn it off. Turn it back on.
On. Yep.
Done.
Cool. All right. So now we start up. So twist for priming. So where are we priming it?
Look, I don't even think it would require a prime because the aircraft has already been running today.
Yeah,
So
if you were priming, it's up and down.
You just now that the mixture's rich, now anytime you manipulate the throttle, it'll prime. It'll push some fuel in.
Yeah. Yep. So throttle was closed.
Yep.
So back right. Yep.
Correct.
Confirm closed.
Yep.
Battery stowed.
And the reason why we've asked you to do it twice there is because that actually can do quite serious damage to the engine starting with the throttle open.
Yep.
So that's why we say throttle's closed. Yep. Confirm closed. Great. Okay. So it's just it's trying to capture that human element, you know.
Yeah. Yep. So we've gone battery on.
Yep.
Strobe switches.
And it actually remains on. We generally just leave that on.
Yep. So areas
Clear.
Yep. Ignition switch, start, then both.
Perfect. So what you're going to do very shortly is you're going to pop your left hand on the throttle.
Yep.
You're going to tuck your right hand, the Cyclic between your legs there. So you can pop your feet on the pedals there.
Yep.
And that'll somewhat set your orientation up here.
Yep.
This is going to leave your right hand free to do all of the switches and all that sort of gizmo.
Yep.
And your left hand is going to remain on the throttle for the entire time.
Yep.
Now what actually happens here is these items that are highlighted there in red actually happen within a very short time frame.
Yep.
You know, we're talking about 5 seconds for all, 6, 7 items there.
Yep.
So for today, I'm just going to talk you through them.
Yep.
You'll just study them for the
remainder. Engine RPM 50-60%. Clutch switch. I've got to turn that on, do I?
Correct.
Yep.
So the clutch engage.
Yep. Blades turning less than 5 seconds.
Yep.
Alternator switch. Where's that on? And oil pressure there within 25 seconds or 30 seconds, 25 minimum
PSI. Yep.
Cool.
Exactly right.
So all the way over to start, and it'll spring back to both.
It will exactly. The essential. The first part here is the same as starting your car.
Yep.
Vroom, back to both.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'll hold that in for how long?
The starter.
Yep.
No longer than about 4 or 5 seconds. If the engine doesn't start within 4 or 5 seconds, we'll give it a break and let the starter motor cool back down again.
Alright, so I'll give it a go.
Go for it. Beautiful. Starter lights out, set engine RPM 50 to 60, give it a tiny bit more throttle. That's it, clutch. Clutch bit, switch the red thing over. That's it. Play 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 already moving, alternator on. Oil pressure, a bit more throttle. And you just keep dipping with the lid till the RPM dies off.
burning hot motor can go on, and then you just maintain the RPM